Hey everybody, welcome to tonight's Big Brother 24 chat.
Oh, hi! Last time it was a Butterbean blindside.
Yay! Oh, so satisfying.
Oh, goodbye, Amira.
Yeah. No, but like, honestly, amazing blindside. Good times.
Great.
10 out of 10. Would do it again.
Good times, great oldies.
Yeah. Alright, so the episode ended with a cliffhanger. Yeah, we didn't get to see the whole HOH competition.
They barely even started it.
Well, because they had another, like, lead-in competition to get to the HOH comp.
So Butterbean was one of the first ones that hopped her way over to the, you know.
Well, let's talk about this competition real quick.
All right.
So they were raining down 1,500 envelopes from the sky.
1,500. The poor interns that had to seal those envelopes.
Right. So the house guests had to open up the envelopes, find the red invitation, and then make their way over to the front porch of the house. So
they had to sit on or stand on a little
leap pad.
Yeah.
Only 8 house guests were going to move on to the HOH competition.
There were obviously more than 8 invitations, though, as we found out later on.
Well, I guess. I don't know.
Well,
yeah, actually,
yeah. So the 8 lucky ones that got in there were Jasmine, Terrence, Brittany, Monte, Daniel, Nicole, Joseph, and Alyssa just beat out Indy by a couple seconds.
Yeah, it was very close.
Wow. So let's take a little step back.
Okay, so we got to see some flashbacks from
before the blindside.
Right. Well, after the blindside.
Well, before and after.
Was it before?
There was one before.
Oh, okay. I don't know, I'm tired. Anyway.
Me too.
I was moving again this weekend. Okay, anyway.
Did they move into a new house on this show? Oh, that was real life.
Yeah. But anyway,
yeah.
So this flashback, Michael is bombarded. Everybody's like, who did you vote for? Who did you vote for?
Did you vote out Amira? Did you vote for Terry? Did you vote for Amira? He
does own up to his vote. He's like, yeah, I voted out Amira. What about it? It looks like I was on the right side of the vote.
You jealous?
He didn't say it like that.
Yeah.
But I know Jasmine definitely appreciated his honesty in that moment. So I think it was the right choice for him to just own up to his vote. Because there was some discussion, like maybe the leftovers would try to cover their votes and lie about it, try and pin it on Daniel and Nicole. But,
were you disgusted by Alyssa sobbing over Amira?
It was a bit much.
And Nicole, in a pissing contest with Alyssa, saying,
I didn't get to say goodbye to my best friend.
Well, maybe you should have paid attention to what was going on in the house.
She also did claim that Terrence was her best friend. She's called quite a few people her best friend.
Everybody's her bestie.
Anyway.
Let's talk about part 2 of the HOH competition.
Okay, so it's still a tie-in.
It is a movie tie-in.
It's still a tie-in to the movie, The Invitation.
Do you think the movie will do any better from having a tie-in on this show?
It's possible. You never know. I like when they do movie tie-ins. I think it's fun, even if I'm not interested in the movie.
This seems like out of character for Big Brother. Like, I wouldn't expect a
horror movie.
I would expect a light comedy or some sort of
a buddy comedy.
A sexy romance.
Yeah, well,
not a horror movie, though.
Even though I'm not into, like, scary movies, I still think that this is fun. I just love a movie tie-in.
I love a movie tie-in, just not this movie.
All right. Well, I thought they did a pretty good job tying it into this competition because when we watched the trailer...
Was it the Vecna house?
Well, when they showed the trailer on Thursday, one of my biggest takeaways was, oh my god, they're like drinking blood? And that was part of this competition.
Yeah.
So
they did a good job then.
The set was pretty cool. The actual competition was basically a blood goblet shuffleboard situation. So
we've seen this comp before with different mediums.
Right. So
this one just happened to be goblets of blood.
Obviously it wasn't real blood. Okay, the house
wasn't even liquid. Was it one of those ones where they like
I think
pour
it was
the?
yeah, it wasn't like moving.
Yeah, like they just painted the cups.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So the house guests had 30 seconds to lock in the highest
After the
score
scream,
possible.
30 seconds from the.
Yeah. So there were 3 different shuffleboards, and each shuffleboard had a maximum of 5 points up for grabs.
Everybody pretty much sucked on this.
Not everybody. A few people were pretty good, but at first I thought Alyssa
pretty good.
Yeah, at first I thought Alyssa was an idiot because she locked in her score of 4, but I totally forgot. Like you have to just
you only get one shot.
You get one shot. You go through it once, and that's it. It's not like you have 30 seconds to get your best score possible.
This isn't Survivor,
right?
You know. Anyway, Nicole was one of the higher scores. She held her
lead for
pretty
a little
long.
bit. But it was so sad because after her run, she was walking by everybody that was just watching, and Taylor was like, "Oh, good job, like high five." And Nicole just walked right on by. Do you think she did it on purpose, or do you think she really didn't realize?
I think Nicole only cares about Nicole, so
I don't think she noticed Taylor.
I think anybody who was holding out their hand for her, she probably would have walked by.
Yeah.
But
you know, there's no love lost between those two, so
it
did fit well into the show.
To quote Captain Lee, the hits just keep coming.
Yeah.
The hits just keep coming.
All right.
So then Monte knocked her out of her number 1 spot and was able to hold the rest of the competition.
Woo! If you asked me like 2 weeks
Monty.
ago, I would have never expected that I'd be so excited
Rooting
for a
for
Monty.
Monty?
HOH! Yeah. But Monty is a part of the Leftovers Alliance, and you know he's going to do the damn thing this week.
Yeah. Good for people this season. Not just going for the low-hanging fruit. Good for them, fighting for truth and justice and the American way, just like Superman, and getting the bad guys out.
Sure.
All right, so Detective Nicole is on the case, baby. She wants to find out who voted Amira out. I could just see Nicole sitting at her desk in her 10 years of police work with a pile like this of unsolved cases. Oh my God. Who voted Amira out? I'll never be able to figure this out because I'm so unaware. I am so clueless.
I mean, it was pretty easy to figure this out when there were only 4 votes for Amira to stay, and a bunch of the people who voted her out were admitting to it. So it was not difficult to figure this out.
Well, congratulations. All right, so
Nicole was pissed though, because she was like, I wish I had known. I wasted all this time saying goodbye to Terrence when my best friend was leaving. I didn't get to say goodbye to her. And she was complaining to Daniel like,
I can't trust anyone.
You made me go and cry to Terrence. Nicole was going around the night before begging, insisting that she be the one to tell Terrence that he was leaving.
Yeah.
So, none of this, you made me do this.
Nobody forced you to do anything. This was all you, baby.
I guess what she's saying is that people led her to believe that Terrence would be leaving.
I mean, they did come up with a cover for the whole vote flip eventually.
Well, also, how do you feel about Daniel and Nicole being like, I knew something was up? You did not. No.
Who were they, my mother?
All right.
Oh, I knew that was going to happen. All right, you were clueless.
All right. So, we also find out, okay, so we know that Terrence, because he survived the block, he got the opportunity to join a new group of Festy Besties. So,
but what we didn't know from the last episode was that
Monty and Joseph approached him beforehand.
They pre-scooped.
Yeah.
This is like leaving out the ice cream before you know, a half an hour before you're ready to eat it.
So it's a long time.
To put it in the microwave. Well, it depends on the weather.
All right. So they were being very proactive here, and they were like, you know what? If you get the opportunity to choose a Festy Bestie duo,
us.
And it was a smart move on their part, because if you
was.
look at the leftovers, there were 2 groups of Festy Besties that don't have a non-leftover member. So that would be very risky if they were to be up on the block. They would have to vote out their own alliance member.
Yeah.
But now that Monty and Joseph got Terrence to join them...
They can burn Terry.
Oh. If they find themselves up on the block, they can vote out Terrence instead.
All right. So Jasmine, Alyssa, Daniel, couple other talking heads.
Ugh.
They were sitting around saying... More Taylor bashing.
They're like, you know, the worst part of this whole blindside is that Taylor knew and we didn't. Hell yeah, she did. Suck it. I'm sorry, but like all the trash talk about Taylor is just making me sad at this point.
All the trash talk about Taylor usually ends up them, you know, like failing at something and just pinning it on Taylor.
Well, there's been a lot of karma so far this season, so.
Yeah. Gary. All right, so Kyle didn't tell Alyssa about the vote flip, even though they're supposed to be like in a...
Not really. I mean, Kyle has told Alyssa multiple times that he does not want to have a showmance.
Keep your hands off my pee-pee. Don't be tracing my stomach down to my pee-pee area, and I don't like it.
She has been very persistent trying to make this showmance happen, and it's like, girly... He said no multiple times.
No means no.
Like, just stop. But she has it in her head that they're a showmance. She's pissed that he didn't tell her about the vote. And he's, like, lying and saying, oh, it was a last-minute thing. Also, you were super close to Amira, so I didn't want to put you in an awkward position. But I will say, he made a very valid point here. He was like, you've told me in the past that you would never vote out Amira, or I think the other person was like Jasmine. So where does that leave me? You know, what number am I on your list?
Well, also, Joseph heard her saying that...
I think it was Joseph and Turner?
Yeah. She misses her family and her person at home.
So he goes and tells Kyle, and Kyle's like, wait, what? Apparently Alyssa,
She's got a person?
Has something back home with somebody? I don't know.
Does Alyssa have someone at home?
Yeah, I didn't know that was the case. That's really awkward. Okay.
Well, Kyle doesn't want any part of that. He doesn't want to be in no throuple.
No.
All right, goodbye, Kyle and Alyssa showmans.
Is it, though? I don't know.
All right, so it's time for Monty's HOH room. He had a really nice letter from his mommy.
You can tell he really cares about his parents, and that's awesome to see. The way he was getting emotional about them in the diary room. The
way his mommy told him to keep his peenie in his pants. No chiquitas.
Yeah.
All right, so... They had a little leftover celebration in the HOH room
when they were
after everybody else left.
Waiting for everybody to leave. Just get out!
We gotta have a meeting.
Yeah, so they had almost the whole Leftovers Alliance in there, and they were able to not only celebrate, but also try and strategize and figure out what they were going to do this week. So, one of the priorities here, the Leftovers want to make sure that Taylor is comfortable in this alliance, because she has been through some BS so far this season.
Right.
And they don't want to lose her. So they want to make sure she's good to go. So even though Monty would like to target Nicole this week, that would mean putting up Taylor next to her, because they are Festy Besties.
And she has been through so much trauma.
Yeah, she really has been through a lot. So she was like...
Do we really need another Nicole... Taylor, you know, up on the block?
If it means Nicole's going, yeah.
Well, we just don't want to do more mental damage to Taylor.
So Taylor was like, can somebody else go up first? Like maybe Alyssa and Indy, and then, you know, if the situation arises, maybe after the veto, I'll go up on the block with Nicole. So it seemed like everybody was on board with that. That was something that had already been discussed before this big group meeting.
Okay.
So if the nominations stay the same, Alyssa would be the target.
So Monty, being an okay HOH.
I think he's doing a good job so far.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying he's pretty okay. Tells Indy
and Alyssa.
And Alyssa separately that they're going to be going up, and Indy's sad.
Yeah, she was not happy about this because she was like, I would never put you in this position. But Monty's really trying to sell it to Alyssa and Indy and a bunch of the other house guests outside of the leftovers. He's selling it like he is planning on backdooring Taylor this week because that's what they want to hear.
Mm-hmm.
So if they know that there's like this backdoor target, maybe Indy and Alyssa will feel better about going up on the block. But what they don't realize is the backdoor target would be Nicole. Oh.
Okay, so he also talks to Nicole and Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if any of you cats caught this. Did you even catch this?
What?
When they had this conversation on the feeds, Nicole was all like...
I love Taylor.
No, She was all like, so what can I do for you to stay this week? Even though you have the wrong equipment. You have a penis.
What?
And I don't go for that.
Did she say that?
It was really, really awkward and weird. And
Nicole is laying it on thick this week with Monty because, you know, she got blindsided last week by that vote.
Mm-hmm.
And she's not sure where she stands with Monty at this point because they were on opposite sides of the vote. So she's like really trying to kiss some ass here. And she's telling him like she still wants to work with him, blah, blah, blah.
What's it going to take to keep me this week?
Mm.
Or I don't know. I don't even know.
Yeah.
All right, so
Monty has the chat with Taylor alone.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, they're talking about what we were saying earlier.
She just doesn't want to be a pawn. She wants to be part of the alliance. She wants, you know.
And Monty's reassuring her, like, you are a valued member of this alliance, just like everybody else. So.
She's done sacrificing for everyone else's game.
Yeah.
So it's time for the noms. And Monty puts up Indy and Alyssa.
Woo! Yeah, so he tried to make a statement with his speech, you know, saying that they're not his targets, implying that he's got a backdoor plan.
He wants them to win the veto.
Yeah.
And he does say, though, if they don't come off the block, Alyssa's going to be the one to go.
He doesn't say that to them,
no,
but he says it in the diary room.
It's known.
Yeah.
But the plan actually is to backdoor Nicole.
As long as Taylor is okay with it.
Not Taylor.
Yeah. So, Nicole thinks there could be something up here.
But does she? Is she just saying that?
I feel like she's back and forth on it. I don't know.
I feel like
she's got to realize at this point.
She's like a broken clock. She's going to be right at least twice a day. So, like, if she says that she thinks something is up often enough, she'll finally be correct.
Okay, so I was right.
Yeah. I got all these unsolved mysteries to take care of.
Oh, my goodness.
All right, so that's it. Will she solve any of these mysteries? I don't know.
We'll see. But thank you all so much for watching. Sorry, we're so freaking tired tonight, but it has been a weekend. So,
yes.
Leave
2 days of moving.
Yes. Leave your thoughts on this episode in the comments. We will be back for a new spoiler live stream tomorrow. And until next time, much love.